You ain't got a lot to kick it, man. You ain't got a lie. You ain't got a lie. You ain't got a lie to kick it, man. You ain't got a lie, cause I love myself. I love myself. Now, to Pimp a Butterfly, the new album, the second album from Mr. Kendrick Lamar. The first album I absolutely loved. Kendrick Lamar when he first, got his Section 80 as well, mixtape or what you want to call it. Kendrick Lamar is one of the brightest, most, he's bringing back hip hop, the message in the game. I mean, hip hop has been astray, if you want to hear it been astray, look at Truffle Butter or whatever with Drake, Lil Wayne, and Nicki Minaj. That whole song, even Drake has that one line where he says, "Sorry, but I gotta talk about the money. It's hard not talking about the money." That's all they do is talk about money and how much they've blown up and singles sold and blah, blah, blah. Looking at a lot of these people albums, Kanye West is just weird. But, T.I., he's cool, but he goes back and forth. There is really no storytelling anymore in hip-hop. In rap, it's not rap anymore. It's hip-hop. It's hip-hop. If you want, even the game, I remember the game. I like Red Room, but the last album he had wasn't that great. I know you have to make some party jams for a lot of people. I know you got to make some club jams. That's how Tupac did it. He knew that you had to make it for the women, but you got to keep it still real. You got to talk about the streets, where you came from, or whatever you've done in your life. Whatever you have to basically have something to say when you're making a great album. With hip hop today, they're not saying anything. They're saying the same shit. They're saying the same shit that you want to hear. And they're hoping that the instrumental, the beat is so badass that it's camouflaging them, the terrible lyrics that are out there. Now, everybody has a right for their own opinion. If you like Nicki Minaj, if you like Drake, you like Lil Wayne, that's on you. I'll argue with you. I'm like, man, this is garbage. But hey, if you like them, that's you. Don't let anybody tell you not to, listen to them. If you want to listen to them, go ahead. There's a couple Ja Rule jams I like. That's fine. Even though he was trying to be like Pac. But, hey, my friend loves Drake. I hate Drake. We always argue. But I said, hey, man, that's you. It ain't me. Now, Kendrick Lamar, going back to him, this album is something to say. So political. It felt like Tupac's message, not as strong, not as powerful, not as outspoken, but subtle, in your face. Like, Kendrick Lamar is not a cat that's going to be going around doing rallies, doing marches and stuff. He's going to do it lyrically. And that's what he does. That's what he did. I mean, he goes hard, but he is not as, crazy with the ciphers as Lupe Fiasco. But his messages, his political kind of stance, the way he feels, definitely is all over this album. What else is all over this album is Snoop Dogg. If some of the jams he had, some of the beats, the instrumentals he had, felt like Snoop Dogg, back in the day, not back in the day where, when he first came out, like with the Chronic and stuff. I'm talking about like back in the early 2000s, with that funk, that funky type beat. It felt like that. It definitely felt like Kendrick Lamar got Snoop and said, give me some beats. I'll lay some deep track, deep lyrical messages for everybody. What Kendrick Lamar likes to talk about in this album is basically him being black, There's one song as well talking about him doing a girl. Take it how it is. It's mostly about him standing up for the rights and definitely what's going on the streets, definitely the corruption and the cops and stuff. And I respect that. I respect Kendrick, not going. With this other album, he had more of a club jams, more of a kind of like that bob your head type deal. And some of these jams on here are somewhat like that, but it's more deeper than that. It still felt a little underground to me. But there was a lot of that Snoop Dogg type, funk beat where you're nodding your head and you're like, doom, like that West Coast, definitely that OG West Coast type stuff from the early 2000s. I'm losing control. Would you hurt me oh so bad? It's like that. type of Snoop Dogg type beat, you know, up the joogie, up the boogie, I can't say it like him, boogie in the streets. You know, it's that Snoop Dogg, you know, the Dogfather type beats. It's not gangsta, it's more like fun with it. Now, some of the tracks I do like though with Kendrick Lamar, that King Kuta is so crazy, man. It's definitely that's that Snoop Dogg type beat with it, but that lyrical talking about King Kuta, you know, Kendrick Lamar speaking about mostly, you know, just him and his race and stuff. But what I really, and these walls, that's exactly what I was talking about, him basically banging a girl. These walls was actually a pretty good jam. I actually enjoyed that. All right though. All Right's probably one of my favorite ones off the track. I want to play it, but you know, it's copyright and stuff. Mama's a good one. Complexion is actually a pretty nice one. And then the single that came out, a lot of people were, you know, just nodding their heads like, and listening to his lyrics and saying, oh, Kendrick's on it. Kendrick's saying something. And that's the Blacker the Berry. I like the Blacker the Berry. I think that's a pretty damn good ass jam. It really gets you kind of pumped up, like really gets you, you know, motivated, somewhat want to speak your mind. And You Ain't Gotta Lie to kick you. I love the You Ain't Gotta Lie is definitely has that little bit of, you know, chillax Snoop Dogg type beat. Definitely has just, you know, just driving, kicking it with the homies or whatever, and you know, you're not trying to party, you're not trying to do something like that, but you're just trying to, you know, just clear your thoughts, like have your mind go somewhere else. And that track is definitely one of those. And then I Love Myself is pretty cool. You know, it's definitely a drinking kind of track. You know, I love myself. Overall though, Kendrick Lamar's album, I do like his last album a little bit better because some of the songs, you know, it was a little bit, I think you need a balance, and he didn't go for the balance. He went straight for definitely, which I really appreciate him, you know, sending messages and stuff, and him really talking about the streets and talking about the struggle of the black man, you know, all that kind of stuff. But no love for the Mexicans. It really feel like he was influenced by Tupac. It really does. You know, Kendrick Lamar is a big Tupac fan. That's why I love him too, because I'm a huge Tupac fan. But like I said, you know, even in Tupac's political tracks, he still had, you know, a couple of those tracks to either, you know, smoke a joint to or drink a little bit to. But you know what? It really did feel like, you know, he even has the same thing from, was it Gin and Juice? Like the beginning of Gin and Juice or Thug's Passion? Something like that. It was one of those songs where it's Tupac actually talking in the beginning of the track, and he does the same exact thing in one of these tracks on the album. I thought it was a good track. I thought it was good. I mean, I thought it was a good album. I thought it was great to finally have somebody who's speaking up, who's speaking about, you know, what's going on, who's not scared to talk about what's going on, you know, where his area is in the streets, or overall the controversy between a lot of these shootings, a lot of, you know, Trayvon Martin, a lot of stuff like that. It's great. That's what I want. I want, you know, somebody who has power. I mean, I love Lupe Fiasco, and he's really talking about a lot of the government and everything, but Lupe Fiasco is not as big as Kendrick Lamar. It's just, which is sad, because Lupe Fiasco is one of the greatest MCs that can touch that mic. But Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest, you know, so popular, and he's one of the greats. He is one of the greats. I don't know if he's the greatest. He is one of the greatest. I'll give it to him. He's one of the greatest. Lyrically, he's nice. Lyrically, he's got it. He's definitely, you can understand. You don't have to really cipher what he has to say. It's really straight to the point. His flow is pretty awesome. His flow is pretty good. Just talking about Kendrick, man. Kendrick is pretty much the whole package for a, how can I say it? Pretty much a not an underground style, but what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Forgot. Mainstream. There you go. Kendrick Lamar is perfect for mainstream because he can have that balance. You know, people who don't necessarily don't like mainstream could still rock with him because he's still speaking the truth and doing what he wants to do. And a good, kudos to Dr. Dre, probably laying some of these awesome tracks to pretty much say, hey, you got it, kid. This is your album. Go with it. Do your thing, and I'll support you 100%. So Kendrick Lamar, man, he's really, he's really impressive. He's really just really killing it. He's really, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about this album, about what he's saying in it. Like I said, it's not really something you go out, you bump to and party to, but it's something you really pay close attention to and you listen to while you're in a car. Just not in a party. just really think, just really have your thought process just race when you hear some of his jams. It's really cool. Do I think it's better than Lupe Fiasco's Tetsuo and the Youth? No, I don't, because I think Lupe Fiasco is better than Kendrick, honestly. I just do. I really think Lupe Fiasco, you really have to cipher his lyrics, and when you cipher it, it's pretty insane. Lupe's flow is pretty awesome. But I would love these two to get on a track together and do something, but Lupe never really wants to, so that's the problem with Lupe as well. But Kendrick Lamar's, this album, definitely, just really listening it over and over again, it definitely was worth that $15. I think it was. With Kendrick's albums, it's not. I don't try to download them. I buy them. I definitely buy them, and I'm happy I bought this album. I'm happy that Kendrick hasn't changed. That he's pushing the envelope a little bit more, and this is definitely one of. I don't want to say it's his best album. It's up there with as one of the more just an album we really need. Honestly, an album we really need instead of with all this other shit that's going on with with how hip hop is today. It's definitely another album we need. Him, J. Cole, Wale, Lupe. They're really changing the game. Big Sean's album came out. I listened to that, and then I compare this with Kendrick. Kendrick's far beyond, these other guys. So, but I think he's right there with Lupe and J. Cole. J. Cole is just climbing. I thought J. Cole's album was okay though, but I think Born Sinner was better. But that was a little bit more mainstream, and he wanted to take it down a notch as well. So, got to give it up to these guys who are really just staying in their roots, really staying just right there, at their hometown. Like they have their heart, they have their home in their heart. They have a message. They have a message. They have a story to tell. They have something to say, and that's what I want. I want these guys to speak their minds, say something. I think that's why Eminem is not as good as he used to be, because he doesn't really have any more to say. He said everything he wanted to. So, but these guys are the future. Hopefully, these guys could, get more people involved in their group or whatever. Make a group, sign some people, get people signed, and really move the hip hop to a better future, to a more storytelling, to a more real, to no fake ass, freaking talking about money, this and that, and really bring it back to what it used to be in the glory days. About storytelling, the heart of the heart of speaking out, the struggle that it was to get to where they were. Because you don't have to really be in the street. I'm not saying you have to be hardcore gangsta, killing people, or slanging or whatever. There's other types of pain, other types of things you could channel to make a great album, to say something. There's political stuff as well. So, I don't hate on Drake, because he's from Degrassi and all that. I hate on him because he's not being real. As long as you're being real and you're being honest, that's a true MC. That's what an MC should be. And really speaking from the heart and speaking what you saw and what you did in your lifetime, good, bad, whatever, just telling stories. With Drake, it's not like that. With Drake, it's like you can tell he's being a big old phony. You could tell he's not writing his own, and that's the other thing. If you're going to be an MC, you better write your own damn lyrics. I think Kendrick's writing his own lyrics. I think we're all good there. And gotta say, Kendrick Lamar's album, To Pimp a Butterfly, check it out. Let me know your thoughts. I really thought it was a great album. I did prefer the other one last time, but mostly a lot of Kendrick Lamar's music I absolutely love, and this is just another album I can add to the list. So thank you guys for listening, and subscribe, like, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on basically maybe other albums you compared it to. So